Hey there everyone, welcome to another Pokemon Unite character concept. This time we are doing one for Swalot. And Swalot is a Pokemon by most people treated as a joke. You know, it has a funny name, it's a somewhat weird looking Pokemon, no one really likes it. And if you saw my previous video doing a Celebi character concept, speaking of previous videos, there will hopefully be a link in the description to see some of these previous character concepts and holowares, because I have a whole playlist full of those. But if you saw that, there is a question on what character you think I will choose for the next one in the Hoenn region. There is another one of those, but this time I am looking for a Pokemon who is currently in Pokemon Unite, but not as a playable Pokemon, but as a wild Pokemon. So the next character concept I do will be for a Pokemon who's currently in Pokemon Unite, but not as a playable Pokemon. So you guys can guess that in the comment section. Hopefully you're right. If not, you'll see in the next character concept creation. But here's Swalot. So Gulpin is your first form, and you will evolve at level 4 into Swalot. Swalot is a defender, it is a melee attacker, and it will deal physical damage. So as a defender, Swalot should have a lot of endurance. That is its health, that's its defenses, and that's what it's going to be. It's a pretty big pile of goo, and it's going to be somewhat tanky. It's going to have some health regeneration qualities. It's going to be pretty slow too. It has a 1 mobility. So it has no dashes, no speed boost. It's going to be just a very, very slow tank Pokemon. Scoring, offense, sort of in the middle, because it's just going to be there. It's not going to do a ton of damage. Now, it does have a couple moves that will hurt a good bit, but it's not really known for its offensive qualities. And support, like I said, it's going to be that frontline tank, but it will be able to provide some decent playmaking for its team. Next up, we will talk about the boosted attack, which Swalot actually has done, so we won't be talking about that. Its ability, and then its first 2 starting moves, which it gets at level 1 and level 3. Starting off, we have its ability, and Swalot's ability is one of the more interesting support-related effects to its Defender kit, and that will be that any lifesteal effect or healing that comes from dealing damage to Swalot, and this only applies to Swalot, so you can hit, let's say you're a Cinderace and you're life-stealing from your basic attacks off of a Dodrio, and you're healing from that Dodrio every time you hit it with one of your basic or boosted attacks. If you were to do that same thing except hit a Swalot, you would receive half of the healing you would get normally from it. It's sort of like an anti-healing effect, except it's only coming from when you actually attack Swalot. So what this sort of does is it makes any enemy trying to heal off a Swalot in, a bit of a panic state. Just like, oh no, I'm such low health, let me hit this big bulky defender who, won't beat me, so then I can heal up from it. But, you'll receive 50% healing, so you don't really get that benefit, and that sort of hurts character sustain in team fights, because, Swalot's going to be in the front line as a defender, hopefully. So hitting a Swalot and gaining 50% healing reduction, is not really good. You don't really want to hit it. So that's one unique characteristic of Swalot here. Its other 2 moves are pretty simple. They aren't really too weird. You have its first move, which is Sludge, which has a 7.5 second cooldown. And all it is, in a targeted area somewhere around itself. Purple goo will come out from its mouth, and it will last for 1.5 seconds. Anyone who steps in it or gets hit by it will take a bit of damage and also have 10% movement speed reduction. So this allows you to sort of chase or get away from enemies. It's also its basic attacking move. It doesn't have the best secure because it doesn't have a boosted attack. So this will be sort of maybe what you want to try and secure with, because its other move isn't damaging. Speaking of its other move is Amnesia, which has an 8-second cooldown, and Swalot will forget some damage that the enemies deal to it. It increases its defense and special defense by 15%, And also it gains a shield for 7.5% of its maximum health, and both of those effects last for 2 seconds. So this is one of those simple level 1, level 3 tools that allow Swalot to sort of tank a bit of hits and just live a bit longer in the early game. Because it's a defender, so it needs to live a bit longer and provide help for its team. Now we get into my favorite part of Swalot's kit, which are its main moves, which it gets at level 5 and level 6, a bit of a unique leveling pattern here. And it evolves at level 4, so you'll have your first 2 moves, your Sludge and your Amnesia, for 1 more level until you actually get your real moves. Now, one of the most interesting things with Swalot's moves is most Pokemon only have 2 moves it learns. Mew, for example, has 3 on each button. Swalot is unique. Swalot will also have 3 moves at one time, but you won't be able to switch between the moves. So as you see for its level 5 move, it has Stockpile and Swallow both on the same button. And this move has no cooldown. When Swalot hits level 5, it gains both Stockpile and Swallow at the same time. So you don't have to pick between the two. You just pick, do you want Stockpile, Swallow, or its other 2 set of moves, which we'll talk about after a bit later on into this video. And along with the Stockpile and Swallow it gets, it also will gain a bar, as you can see, slightly below the lines right there, under its health bar. There is a maximum of 3 charges, and you start with 0 charges when you get these effects. And the bar's right there. There is the bar at 0 charges. If you look a bit lower, the bar has 1 charge. And this is described by the white bit filling in one of the lines right there. So if you hold the attack button, whether it's R or ZR, you will store charges with Stockpile. For every 2 seconds you hold the button, you gain 1 charge, up to 3 charges. That's why there's 3 little boxes there. Every Stockpile charge you get increases your defense and special defense 15% per charge. Now, that's what you get if you hold it. You have to hold it for 2 seconds. If you hold it any less, it resets. And you have to hold it for another 2 seconds. So you don't have to hold it if you get your charge. And once you hit 3 charges, there's no reason to hold it anymore because you won't gain anything else for holding the button. If you click the attack button, whether it's R or ZR, like I said, whichever button this move is on, you will use Swallow. What Swallow does is Swalot uses one of the charges that it's stockpiled, and it restores some of its health. It gains 10% of its max HP back instantly. And you must wait to use this effect again, so that's like the small little cooldown that I mentioned, and it's a 1 second cooldown. So, like I said, pretty interesting moveset. You can either hold or you can click the button, applying different effects. And it always just benefits you. It always benefits you to have these charges. So if ever you're just sitting there and you don't have a charge, or you're missing 2 charges, for example, you can just hold the button down. You'll get a couple charges and you'll feel really good about yourself because you're just gaining some more defenses. And also you leave your Swallow open to use. The Stockpile and Swallow Plus you get at level 11, and Stockpile now will take 1.5 seconds to use. So it just makes your moves even faster cooldown, so you have to worry about holding down the button less, and you get your Stockpile uses and your defense boost much faster. Swallow also will heal more, so instead of 10% max HP, you now will gain 15% max HP. So it's just more health to be able to do more things, to live longer, and be that defender Swalot needs to be for its team. And it's very nice to have just, instant click, 15% max HP. But like I said, you have to charge it up a little bit. So that's the cost for using this move. I wanted to design Swalot with this sort of built-in energy management. So it's going to be a bit harder for a defender, but it's going to reward you for being able to use some of these harder techniques. Because Pokemon Unite doesn't really have, like a cost system or like a bar you need to manage. So I thought that would be a very interesting thing to include on a character, and I just decided to put it on Swalot because I thought Swalot had good moves to use for this idea. You also have Spit Up, which you will learn automatically when you learn Stockpile and Swallow. So you don't have a choice, you just get Spit Up instantly, and Spit Up you get at level 6, so you don't have to wait too long to get it. And has a 7.5 second cooldown. Swalot picks an area, and it's a pretty big area too, and it fires a massive glob of spit in the air that will eventually land after 2.5 seconds. All players can see where this attack will land. Any enemies, any wild Pokemon in the area will take some massive damage, but there is a cap for wild Pokemon, so you can't use this move to secure a Rayquaza or whatever you're going to secure with it. Also, in order to use Spit Up, you need to use a charge of Stockpile. This is sort of Swalot's main way to deal any damage in a team fight, and it can fire one of these, for example, on top of itself, and then it's like, come on, fight me, and then it can end a fight essentially and force enemies to run away, or it can win you a fight if the enemies want to fight in your area. Also, you can maybe snipe a player too. Now, you can run away from it, obviously, if you notice it. You have 2.5 seconds. It's not like, it's the biggest area and you'll never get away from it unless you have like 10 dashes, like it's a reasonable area. If you walk for like a second, you'll probably get out, but it's more of a way to either disengage a team fight or punish a team fight from the opponents starting on your side. And Spit Up Plus, at level 12, just reduces the move's cooldown by 1 second, so it goes from 7.5 seconds to 6.5 seconds. So our next two moves are Poison Gas and Gastro Acid, which Swalot also gets at level 5, and this is your other option that you could pick if you don't want to go Stockpile and Swallow. Has no cooldown, just like Stockpile and Swallow, and you'll see a lot of these similarities as we get into the starting bits of the moves. So Swalot gains 2 moves upon level 5, and also a bar below its health. Pretty similar, like I said, Stockpile and Swallow. Except this bar is a bit different. You can see the bar right under there. It has no notches on it. So this bar, if you hold the attack button, you store your poison gas. The longer the button is held, the more the bar will fill until it is full, and it takes 15 seconds to completely fill. And you can charge it for 8 seconds and you can still get use from it. It still does the same effect, just you can hold it for up to 15 seconds. So once the bar is full, it's full and there's no reason to hold it anymore. And after 2 seconds of releasing the button, the bar you just filled will tick down from wherever you left it off, and instantly you will heal a portion of your health 2% every 0.5 seconds. So if you hold the button for 15 seconds, at the end of those 15 seconds, you will restore 60% of your health that you have missed. And if you're full health, you don't gain anything, so, maybe you want to wait to release it for then. And this is a way to just passively heal up Swalot, and it heals it up quite a bit. It's pretty much a leftovers, except you don't have to be out of combat to use it. You can just use it, and it will tick down, and you'll just passively heal up. It makes Swalot pretty tanky, and it makes it harder to defeat because it's just this constant healing it is getting for free. And you will need that bar to use Gastro Acid. If you press the button, you will use Gastro Acid. Gastro Acid uses an 1/8 of Swalot's poison gas gauge, and it launches a wave of acid towards wherever it is facing. It deals a little bit of damage and also removes all active effects and abilities from those hit. So if an opponent has, for example, a orange or a purple boost, those effects will be removed. If it has a focus band that just activated, its focus band healing will be removed. If it has a score shield it wants to use and it's going to score, score shield's effect will be removed. All active effects will be removed for 4 seconds. And that has a 6-second cooldown. So it's a somewhat strong effect, but it doesn't deal a ton of damage, and it does have to use a portion of Swalot's poison gas gauge. So it comes at a cost once again. For Poison Gas and Gastro Acid Plus, it learns that at level 11. Poison Gas will now heal more health. It heals 2.5% every half a second. Gastro Acid now costs less poison gas gauge, going from an eighth of the bar to a tenth of the bar. And also, I did not mention with Gastro Acid, it's a tenth of wherever it is currently. So it's just an instant use. So instead of a slow takedown, it just takes a chunk out of the bar. However big of a chunk you are at whatever level you are. And once again, that is my philosophy with this character. I wanted to create sort of an energy use based character, a bit harder of a defender to use, and one that benefits from just charging its moves and building up these bars of energy that it can, use as it wants or as it takes down, and just provides a lot of benefits to it. But the move that goes with Poison Gas and Gastro Acid, which Swalot instantly learns upon hitting level 6, is Belch. And that also has a 7.5 second cooldown. So Swalot hurls some gas in front of it that deals some damage. But if you use Belch and Swalot has healed any health, or the poison gas gauge has gone down, Swalot will gain more damage on Belch. And this comes with some sort of an equation. What that equation is, I don't know. I haven't worked it out. But for however much Swalot healed, and for however much of the bar was used in those 5 seconds before it uses Belch, that will be how much more damage it will do, and it will be a lot more damage. And it will be like a little shot in front of it. It won't be like Greedent's Belch where it's a cone. It'll be just a straight line, and it goes out a bit longer and will stay a bit. So, a bit different the way it works, but it will deal a bunch more damage if Swalot heals or Poison Gas Gauge is used at all, which, like I said, it should be. That's the strategic part of the move Belch here. Also, Belch Plus learns that at level 12, and this move's cooldown is reduced. So, once again, just like Spit Up, it goes from 7.5 seconds to 6.5 seconds at level 12. This just allows Belch to be used more often and more consistently later in the game. Finally, we have Swalot's Unite move, which is called Eat and Greet, which it learns at level 9. It's a 100-second cooldown, and it has a pretty big body of text here. Swalot expands its upper body, stretching into an area that is directly near it, and all players can see where this area is. Any opponent, and it has to specifically be a player, it can't be a wild Pokemon, in the selected area, after 2 seconds of seeing where this area is, will be eaten by Swalot. And they will remain in Swalot's mouth for 3 seconds. Any shields that player had will be given instantly to Swalot, and Swalot can move around with that player in its mouth, but Swalot's move speed is reduced by 50%. After the 3 seconds are over for Swalot having the player in the mouth, or by activating the effect again, Swalot will spit out that player in the direction Swalot is currently facing, and that player is invincible, can't take any damage. This move also will deal 0 damage to the player. All it does is picks them up, takes them out of the fight for a few seconds, spits them in the direction of their teammates, and their teammates can jump on them, beat them up, do whatever they want. Overall, I think Swalot can work really, really well in Pokemon Unite. And like I said, Swalot's treated more of a joke Pokemon, and I can see how, but I think in Pokemon Unite, Swalot could work wonders in the game. It's a very unique character concept I have here. It would bring something completely different to the game. It brings actual energy management, and it makes a character that is much harder to use, but feels more rewarding, hopefully. That was my design concept with Swalot, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys check out any of my other costumes or character concepts in the description. Like I said, there's hopefully a playlist link there. If not, just search my channel and you'll find it also. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I enjoy making these. Don't forget to guess which character could be coming in the future in the comment section. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. So thank you, and goodbye.